It's a pleasure welcoming you to the discussion segment of our daily schedule, daily morning show. We call it the Poly TV show. My name remains Femi Afolabi. On the discussion segment today, we want to discuss something unique, something that is germane, something that affects the life of the nation as well as individuals. And we want to talk about the taxation, the new tax law that took effect from January this year. Very many misgivings have attracted into that discussion. And of course, government says there's no going back in implementing the new law, as it were. Joining me in the studio for the discussion today is a chartered accountant in his own right, and of course, somebody that is well versed in issue of taxation, the head of Department of Taxation, Federal Polytechnic, Ilaro. I'm talking about Mr. Aderibe Sodiq. Mr. Sodiq, you're welcome to.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. When we talk about tax, government really need tax, at least to do various infrastructural developments, social economic policies, and all whatnot, to bring life more dear to the people. And of course, very many people are saying this new tax law is intended, at least, to punish them, as it were. Let us have an into what we are talking about. What exactly does government mean by this new law?
Thank you very much, Mr. Presenter. There is no ambiguity in the new tax law. And let me say for emphasis that the new tax law is not new. What do I mean? What I mean is that the new tax law did not introduce any new tax. What we have is a reform of the existing tax law. I don't know where the who and cry, or let me say we have a lot of social media tax practitioners, a lot, that are confusing people unnecessarily. The new tax law is not a new tax law in that sense. It's just a reform of the existing tax law, like I said. Now, let's see. During the era of Buhari administration, Buhari changed the tax law 5 times. We have 2019 Finance Act. We have 2020 Finance Act. We have 2021, in fact, 2. Buhari changed tax law twice in 2021. We have what we call Nigeria Petroleum Act. And we have Finance Act 2021. It was only in 2022 that Buhari did not change tax law. Then, before he left, I think 2 weeks before his exit, he quickly signed another tax law, Finance Act 2023. So, there were no issues. Nobody was talking anything during that era. So, why now? And let me say, this new tax law is enacted for the purpose of helping the economy as well as the taxpayer. Meaning that the low-income earner will benefit more from the new tax law, and the economy will stabilize. It is necessary to formulate new tax law because it is for fiscal plan.
Okay.
Every countries of the world does that. Every country does that. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even developed nation, emerging nation, and other economy does that. And the reason being that it is what is used to push the actualization of the budget, as well as the economy stability.
Okay, sir, let me come in this way. You read out the various reforms that
we have had.
The former administration had before we have the new tax law. And of course, I remember that the 2004 income tax law that was in existence. Can we say all these reforms by the past administration, including the 2004 income tax law, they were ineffective?
It was not as if they were not effective or whatever. No. Every year, year in, year out, we need to change the tax law so that we can match it with the reality on ground.
Okay.
The economy needs to be stabilized. And what we'll be having is pluralization of tax. We call it multiplicity of tax. Look at the new tax law now, especially for company income tax, for example. We used to have various taxes attached to your income, what we call taxable income. Various taxes attached to it. We used to have what we call tertiary education trust fund. TET fund, which before now was 3%. We used to have what we call police trust fund, which is 1% of your accessible profit. We used to have what we call information technology levy, which is 1% of your accessible profit. We have NASENI, which is 1% of your... So, multiplicity of taxes. But this new tax law is now having what you call development levy of 4%. So which one is better?
So in a sense, Nigerians do not need to be apprehensive about...
No. All right, let me now shed a little light on the particularly personal income tax. Okay. You have been hearing a lot, especially on social media, that don't put your money in the bank. If you put your money in the bank, government will do this, government will do that, government will do that. There's nothing like that. Let me see. There's no place in the Constitution that says government has that right to dip his hand into your bank account and remove your money. No. What we are saying is that now we are going to tax both employment income and non-employment income. What majority pays as tax is unemployment income. What of other income that comes to you? That we have some government employee that their income is even far below what they earn from non-employment income, and they don't pay tax on it. So now the new tax law is saying, now we are going to assess both your employment income and non-employment income. Non-employment income are your passive income. Income that you don't need to physically present to generate them. Whereas your employment income is your active income. Active income is that income that you earn when you are physically involved in generating it. So, nothing is new. We are just trying to streamline the tax law so that it will curb tax evasion.
Okay, let's look at this narrative. Prior to the implementation of this new law, a member of the National Assembly, House of Representatives, for instance, raised an issue that the new tax law that was to be implemented, that was to take effect from the 1st of January this year, was not the one passed by the National Assembly. So for very many weeks, there was a narration on it that maybe somebody is trying to shortchange Nigerians.
No, not at all. They have come out to now say it is the same tax law that they pass that we have. You see, we have a lot of people that do not want good for this country. Let me put it that way. They don't want good things to happen to this country. What this administration has done, from 1958, that we have what we call tax ordinance, up to this moment, there has never been a very streamlined tax law that we have now.
Okay, let's talk about the multiplicity of tax that you mentioned earlier. Henceforth, so what will be the roles and duties, or how does the local government generate funds now? Because we used to have levies and some form of taxes paid to local government, while states impose theirs, whereas the federal government will bring theirs too. So how do we streamline it so that people at the end of the day will not be at the receiving end?
Thank you very much. Let me say local government doesn't charge tax. What local government collects is levy. Local government is not under any law authorized to collect any form of tax. What they charge is either V or levy. And it comes with their, essence law. They can decide, okay, we are going to tax parking lot, slaughter slab, maybe hospital or whatever. So that will come with a levy. But when you say tax law, you are talking of income collectible by State Internal Revenue Service as well as Nigeria Revenue Service. Though we have what you call multiplicity of tax, that has always been the case. Even in India, in China, name it, they have that problem. But this tax law has tried to streamline the tax system. Let me also say, for emphasis, there's no way you can have a regularized tax system. No nation has that. No nation of the world has that. Even the UK that is having a very robust tax system, there's still a lot of loopholes in that tax system.
Okay, do you think we, Nigeria, have adequate or functional data to make this law effective? Because I know that it is easier to generate income or
Of course.
take tax from those who are in the organized labor and a section of the unorganized labor. But we have quite a number of population out there
That are not really,
businesses
that are not really paying tax.
They are not.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me see. The new tax law is out to draw people to willingly want to pay tax.
I love that language, willingly.
Willingly want to pay tax. Because the new tax law has so formulated to curb evasion. Okay, we are saying don't put your money in the bank, put narration, put this, put that. It is now easier for government to flag your account. Flagging your account means they can place lien on your account. If government discover that you have this series of income coming into your account and you are not paying tax on it, what they will just say is to flag your account and invite you. What is this income meant for? What is this income meant for? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you now start to explain. Oh, this income is for food. This income is for loan repayment. This income is this and that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So through that arrangement, people will now be aware of the need to do normal thing.
Let's talk about VAT.
Yes.
As of today, is 7.5%.
Yes.
Okay, and there are agitations that the rate should be lower than that because very many people pay tax. In fact, all of us pay VAT on consumable things. So will that not amount to multiplicity?
No. You know, VAT is an indirect tax.
Yes.
An indirect tax that if you do not consume fatable goods, you are not going to pay VAT. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are goods that are fatable. Fatable means you pay tax when you consume them. But this new tax has given a leeway to the manufacturer. We have what we call zero-rated VAT system. What it means is that the distinction between input VAT and output VAT is now well explained and captured in the tax law. Do you understand what I'm saying, sir? So the zero-rated input tax now means that whatever you pay when you are buying your product, when you are buying your raw material, shall be refunded to you. Meaning that whatever cost of production that you'll be having will now reduce.
There are a lot of criticism during the making of this new law,
Okay.
especially from the elite so far and from a section of the country. Because I know that the regulation or the administration of VAT is that it is derivable from the goods that you consume.
That you are consuming.
So a section of the country that doesn't
Understand.
or consume
want to
alcohol,
just-
for instance,
okay.
will at the end of the day benefit from the totality of the accumulation at the end of the day. So now the new tax law now says the higher, wherever you generate such VAT, those areas will benefit more than any other country. Isn't that not fair?
Let me say, what we used to have in the tax system, in the VAT administration, is not really good. But you see, the new Tax Administration Act has now explained that. Now we have what you call VAT derivative. Then we have what you call VAT attribution. Derivative means where that VAT is generated. Which company is generating that VAT? Where is that company situated? That is the resident of that company. And based on that, we'll be able to determine how much will go back to where it is derived. Then we have what we call VAT attribution. Attribution means, for instance, let's look at MTN network. MTN network is almost everywhere in Nigeria, but MTN head office is in Lagos. The old system is that wherever you have consumed, that is where you pay value-added tax. But this time around, the attribution will go back to the head office.
Okay.
Meaning that Lagos State will earn more. It will earn more as a state than other states of the federation. Therefore, you talk about states like Zamfara, where they are practicing Sharia law, Kano, and Maiduguri, and what have you, that bar the consumption of alcoholic drinks. Ordinarily, they are not supposed to share from the proceeds of VAT.
On alcohol?
Yes. Sir, bulk amount of VAT is from alcoholic consumption. You can't compare the consumption of Lagos State with that state like Zamfara, Maiduguri, and you want equal amount. It is not fair. It is not fair.
Largely, the criticism of this new VAT law is from the people at the grassroots, because ordinarily they believe it will add up to
affect them
because of the poor economy. Now, I think government needs to popularize and pay particular attention to the benefits and the advantages of this new law than the shortfall. And there hasn't been that publicity, that mobilization for it, even before the implementation. Do you suggest more publicity in mother languages so that people will
yes,
know more?
There's nothing like a sensitization of a tax law. You have to sensitize people on the need to pay and comply with the new tax law. Let me say, sir, the low henna income will now pay little or no tax. If your income is below the threshold of 800,000, you don't pay tax. That's what the new law says. You don't pay tax at all. Between 800 and 2.2 million, you pay 15%. Between 2.2 to 9 million, you pay 18%. It is a graduated rate, meaning that low income earner will pay little or no tax, whereas those that are collecting fat salary or generating big income, so to say, will pay more tax. So who is not better? Let me look at the informal sector, which are the SME, the small and medium enterprises. We have so many of them. In fact, within Ilaro area, we have so many. So they've been saying, this new tax will kill us, will do this. How many will be on the threshold of paying tax? Small company has now been classified as a company that is having a turnover of 50 million and below. How many small-scale industry
have capital base of 50 million?
We have turnover. It's not even capital base, sir.
Okay.
Turnover. Turnover means sales. Can you make 50 million? Then, apart from making 50 million, the law says you must have what you call capital expenditure of 250 million. What capital expenditure means, your QCE, qualifying capital expenditure, we call it assets in accounting. How many small and medium scale enterprise will have 250 million? It's not your share capital, it is your transaction. Every in a year of assessment, do you have up to 50 million turnover? If you don't have 50 million turnover, you are not paying any form of tax. You are exempted. Then the Nigeria Tax Administration Act now says, even your value-added tax, you are not going to pay anything if your income is below 100 million.
That is why I said very many people do not have.
They don't have this. And you see, we have a lot of tax apathy. People are now very, how do I put it? They are now shaking because of the tax law. Say, Moku is going to kill us, so is going to do this. Whereas none. What the Tinubu administration has done is to favor the poor and tax the rich.
That tax apathy you mentioned, it's my next point I want us to focus on.
Okay.
It doesn't start today.
Of course, it has a lot been like that.
Maybe people do not trust the government enough.
That's what you call tax justice.
People do not trust the
government enough. Tax justice, sir, the meaning is this. Do people have justification to pay tax? Can you see the benefit of paying tax? No, you cannot see it. So what is the justification of paying tax? That is in one thing. But let me define the word taxation to you. What is tax? Tax is a compulsory levy imposed by government or its agents on your income or gain or profit, whose benefit does not come back to the taxpayer. Do you understand what I've said? Look at the concluding part. The benefit of paying it does not come back to the person paying it.
But it's supposed to come back. That
is the tax law. Meaning that you either like it or not, you pay it. Just like Yoruba will say, Dodon lowo ori. That is the meaning.
It still boils down to my last question. People do not trust government enough.
That is what I'm saying.
Because the little they have been paid or they have paid in the past,
cannot see the benefit. That is tax justice, sir.
Okay. And when you travel overseas, people laud what they see there. Good economy, functioning social system and all whatnot.
But so what's the problem, sir? The problem is leadership problem.
Okay.
That one is aside.
I read something credited to former governor of Lagos State and former minister, Fashola.
Okay.
He said when Tinubu was in government in Lagos, when he was the governor of Lagos between 1999 and 2007, at least he improved, re-engineered the tax administration of Lagos State. And Lagos State today is benefiting it. That is exactly what he meant for Nigeria. Do you see it happening in Nigeria because of the particular problem, the particular criticism we have across various geopolitical zones?
Sir, I don't want to go into Lagos State because it's another case entirely. The tax system has been practiced in Lagos State. They understand. Don't let me see it on here. Okay. I don't want to go into that. But if this government is fair, is truthful, and is real, I can bet you, because the proceeds from tax will not be so high. What we are expecting from tax this year will be so high. Government has done credibly well in the formulation of the tax law. We have a lot of what we call tax expenditure. Tax expenditure are a liable deduction from your income before you get what you call chargeable income. So government has given a lot in that regards. So meaning that people will now benefit from paying tax because it's going to be reasonable, it's going to be meaningful, and it's going to be impactful on the people. So I just hope that government will now use the tax proceeds judiciously for the benefit of the masses and stabilize the economy.
I know if we are talking that Nigeria lack in certain areas, not in area of policy formulation, it is implementation
that is always the problem.
So I hope this law will be implemented as it were. Because ordinarily in the recent past, I've not seen anywhere anybody being executed or prosecuted for
not paying tax.
evading tax. Whereas when you talk about the overseas country, tax evasion is a very serious offense.
Serious case.
So what do you recommend? How would we move forward?
Yeah, of course, it is just about integrity of the tax official. They have always been the one that are aiding the taxpayer not to pay the right tax. You know, we have what we call tax planning. Tax planning is a conscious effort by a taxpayer, to explore the loopholes in the tax law to reduce tax liability. And when they do that, it is legitimate. It is legitimate. But you see, this new tax law now says, if you want to use tax planning to plan your tax, come to Nigerian Revenue Service. That is the new name for FRS.
Yes.
Come to the Nigerian Revenue Service and tender that tax planning. Let us see how you want to plan your tax. So it's now left for you, sir, to go there and say, I'm planning to reduce my tax by doing this. I'm planning to reduce by doing this. It is not left for you. Do you understand what I'm saying, sir?
Yes.
So the issue is that it is our people. I'm a tax practitioner. Our people will now assist tax payer to now plan their tax so that they can pay little tax legitimately without contravening any tax law.
Okay, whoever contravenes this tax law, what is the punishment?
Yes, for company income tax, when you don't pay normal tax, you pay 100,000. You pay 100,000. Then subsequently, you'll be paying 50,000 naira every month, plus and including interest rate according to the CBN specification. Either before now, what we will now charge them is just 5% of the amount you have not paid. So people will just, take advantage of that and say, how much is 5,000 of 5% of, and they will not just pay. But now, if you don't pay, you pay 100,000 in the first instance. Then subsequently, you'll be paying 50,000 if you don't pay your normal tax.
Okay, people still do not have information about how to acquire this tax pin.
Tax pin, okay.
Individual tax pin and corporate tax pin. Do you have information to share with the people?
It's a very simple thing. Okay. TIN is tax identification number. Every taxpayer is expected to have it.
Including civil servants?
Everybody.
Okay.
Every taxpayer is expected to have it. And you can go to Joint Revenue Service. We used to call them Joint Tax Board. Now, they are now Joint Revenue Service Portal. Just type JTB or JRS. That is jointrevenueservice.org. You see it. It will prompt you. And you fill your data. And you get your thing. Very simple.
Okay.
Then if you don't want to go through that problem, maybe, I don't understand, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you just walk up to any tax office? You get it done. Walk up to Nigeria. Every state has nothing less than, let me be modest, 8 tax offices. I mean federal, that is National Revenue Service. Every state has, not only one particular place. We have it in Abeokuta, Ijebu-Ode, Shagam. We have them all around. So walk up to them. Tell them, I'm having problem obtaining my thing. And they will assist you to get it. It's not something that is difficult. But if you are the type that understand this social media stuff, why don't you go to this thing? Just type Joint Tax Board. They are the intervening body assisting taxpayer as well as the tax authority.
When you were mentioning punishment, you mentioned only for companies. What about individual who refuse to pay tax?
Individual taxpayer, we have two classifications. Employment income. You know, when you are fully engaged,
You can't defraud that
you can't
because
afford that. So it is
before
pay
you
as
collect
you earn.
your, it's
So
something
that one is
digital.
pay as you earn, pay ye.
Yeah.
But what of all this artisan or someone that is engaged on a private business? Do they pay tax? Okay, that is one thing. Another thing is, are they engaging in a legal business? You see a Yahoo guy that could make millions of naira, up to 500 million, 1 million. Do they pay tax on it? No. So how do you capture them? The only way by which you can capture them is where? Through their bank account. No matter, I don't understand, they say there's something, they lock their income on Facebook or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand that. But any money that is coming into your commercial bank will not escape tax. The agitation for, they will lock my account, so they flag my account, they will dip their hands into my account and collect money, blah, blah, blah. He's talking about non-employment income. But my fear is majority engage in what I will call illegal business, like night crawler. Let me be modest by calling them that. Night crawler. How do you assess them to tax? But what tax law says is this: your means of livelihood, where you are collecting money or generating money to sustain and maintain yourself and your family, that is your income. The law does not say you are a night crawler, you are a prostitute or whatever. Are they supposed to pay tax? They should pay tax.
By virtue of what you explained, because their income is less than 800,000.
How do you ascertain that, sir?
Because
majority of these people, when they go out one night, they can make 1 million. It don't depend on how active they are. They make a lot of money, more than we that we collect money once in a month.
Okay.
One particular night, they can make 800,000 that you are referring to.
I read something on a social media. One coordinator of a thrift, monthly contribution, because of the traffic of money that's coming to the account before he disposes to whoever is turn to take his this thing. That person was very apprehensive that maybe when government sees or when the bank sees the traffic of money coming to them, they might think they might believe that the money is his. So something will happen to his money. Is that so?
Two approaches, sir. Tell that person to go and register. Let him go and register that cooperative.
Okay.
You can register with the local government. You can register with CAC. Use that certificate of incorporation to go and open and operate an account. The income of a cooperative society, friendly society, or any organization that is engaging in sporting activity is not taxable in Nigeria. But people don't know.
For almost 30 minutes, I've been having a discussion, wonderful discussion with Mr.
I'm sure 30 minutes is not enough to talk about that. Because I've not even espoused the impact of this new tax law on the economy, on the sustainability of the informal sector.
Definitely we will have another session, because initially what we intend to do and what we've been able to do is to allay the fears of the citizenry, as it were, on the misgivings that has attracted this new law.
So social
when
media
it started.
Comes with positive impact and negative impact. What we'll be having all along is social media tax practitioner that has been misleading, coming out to say, don't do this, don't do that. Sincerely, there's nothing as such.
Mr. Sadiq Adiribi, definitely we will have you again, at least to expand further
I
on
would
this
really
kind
love
because
to
because
be coming to have a
it-
task discourse.
okay,
Sincerely,
we
I would
will
really, because this is the only means by which we can reach our people.
exactly.
Just last week, we had a session where some people were saying, this blah 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 blah, and I told them, no, it's not like that. There is no new law. In fact, what this tax law did was to reduce the tax system.
Thank you. You've heard it. What the new tax law has been able to make, at least for us in Nigeria as of today, is to reduce the burden of the low-income earners. I want to thank Mr. Adiribi Sadiq sincerely for finding time to be here. Definitely we'll have you again in a very short time to come and expand on what the nation stand to benefit from this and, of course, the individuals. My name remains Femi Afolabi. We'll be back with another session shortly.
Thank you very much for having me.